Do you know Edgar Wright has a brother called Edgar Wrong?
God, I hate you.
Hello, I am Sam.
And I'm Ian.
And we welcome you to the second episode of One Credit After Another, a show where we dive into the career of a filmmaker or actor and their latest film or TV show. How did you think the first episode went?
Yeah, it went all right.
Yeah?
I think so.
It went all right?
New structure.
Oh, okay.
Pretty
thought
much
you'd be more,
same bones as what we did before, but it's a new show, right? It's not our second time we've ever recorded, is it? We've recorded a lot. We've done previous podcasts. We've now done previous seasons of stuff.
Okay,
Season 1. I think it went well.
Okay, thank you. Britain's favourite son, Edgar Wright, brings us The Running Man. Can you do the version from the trailer?
No, go on, you do.
Welcome to The Running Man.
Cool.
Is that quite good?
Yeah, spot on.
Fine. Based on the novel by Stephen King, it is the second adaptation of the book after the 1980s orgasmic version starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. The film takes place in a game show called The Running Man, which pits contestants, also known as runners, against a team of murderous hunters, whose job it is to track them down and kill them dead. Any runner who can stay alive for 30 days wins the grand prize of $1 billion.
What was it in the original? Was it $1 million in the original? And they've had to up the stakes?
Oh, is that why? I just thought that was just a hilariously generous amount of money.
I can't remember. I can't remember the exact thing. What does he win? What does he win his freedom in The Running Man?
I think he just wins his freedom.
Isn't he like in prison or something? And it's just like, it's getting a prisoner free if you kill other prisoners.
My main memory of The Running Man 1987 is just how 80s it is and how bad it is. But
I
really
really like The Running Man. I thought The Running Man was it was kind of one of my entry points into the 80s action. I loved Running Man because I always remember him when he kills the guy, like the motorcycle gang guy. It's like I think that's a 2-death, that one. I think he kills 2 of them. And with like the hockey player and stuff. That was kind of like a good 80s foray for me, like entry into the 80s genre.
It just felt I'm a big Arnold Schwarzenegger fan, and it's probably one of my least favourite. It just felt like too out there for Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it just felt they were trying to connect Commando with Stephen King, and it just felt like this weird.
I thought it was
80s
closer to
mesh.
Total Recall.
Well, Total Recall, I feel like without The Running Man, Total Recall probably wouldn't have worked so well potentially. Because how many films did Arnold Schwarzenegger do like this before The Running Man?
Well, I mean, he did a lot of sci-fi, didn't he? I suppose.
Yeah, but he played like obviously the Terminator.
Yeah.
The film The Running Man 2025 will be released on the 14th of November and is yet to have any released reviews at the time of recording. Is that usually good or bad?
No, that's fine. You would expect them probably a week and a half before if it's good. You'd expect them 3 or 4 days before if it's bad. The Paul Thomas Anderson movie that just recently came out, reviews for that were released really close to the release date.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's only... The worry is you can be more worried the closer it gets to release dates. The bigger the film is, that's even more of a worry. If it releases the day before a film gets released, for instance, that's a bad sign. Having done press screenings for films with embargoes that come out literally sometimes like the day before or the day of a film's release, that's a pretty bad sign. When you're signing that embargo, you're going, well, I've just wasted 2 hours of my life.
Ian, there is never a wasted 2 hours watching the art of the motion picture.
Well, I mean, it depends.
You should know this by now.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I've seen some stinkers.
Ian, what is your favourite Stephen King adaptation? And can Edgar Wright do this adaptation justice?
2 very, very interesting questions. One, we will top line the first question because this isn't a Stephen King podcast. This is an Edgar Wright podcast, this episode. But I would say, to answer your first question, best Stephen King adaptations are his earlier stuff, probably with the more with the better directors, I'd say, as well. I really like Stand By Me, the Rob Reiner one, which I think is fantastic. Shawshank Redemption, I don't think is a film that you can ignore. I don't particularly like Green Mile.
Oh, I love
And I
Green
know
Mile.
that's a bit of a contentious one. Misery, fantastic. I liked the 2017's It. But I think for me, at the moment, I don't think we've seen... I think we've got a few adaptations to come from Mike Flanagan, because I think Mike Flanagan's worked within the horror space, and what he's done... He's actually done 3 Stephen King kind of adaptations, and I think that he's going to have more in front of him. And I think Mike Flanagan will produce some really interesting stuff.
Can I give you a hot take?
Yeah.
I think for Stephen King alone, in terms of bringing his book to life faithfully, I'd probably say Carrie is the best, which is the first one, I believe.
Yeah.
It's all been downhill since Carrie, because obviously there's the famous Shining issues where he hated the film because it was so different to the book. I mean, Shawshank Redemption, the actual book of that is very different, I believe, to the Shawshank Redemption. So, yeah, I think it's been quite hit and miss. I mean,
Okay.
the It film from 2017.
Well, we're split on that, aren't we?
I don't
Because
love that
I love that film. So I would definitely put that up there as one of the better adaptations. And I've read the books.
Have you
I don't like.
watched-
I'm not a huge fan of It too, but to be fair, the second half of It goes absolutely crazy. So it's one of those stories where, you know, when they say there's some books that you can't put to film, the end of It, the book, is so completely out there that it's just how.
Have you watched Welcome to Derry?
I haven't yet. This episode 1 only came out like last week or something,
Okay.
didn't it?
The reviews are quite mixed.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. But Skarsgård's back, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
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 They've got the main, the go-to guy for iconic villains of the last 10 years.
Yeah. So I suppose that's the first question, right? So what's your favourite Stephen King book? What's your favourite Stephen King adaptation?
The Shining. But again, this is where
It's
feel like
contentious, right?
It's so separated from the book. After that, I would probably say I love Misery.
Misery's fantastic.
I've not
Also,
seen
2007. Have you
Gerald's
seen 1408?
Game. No.
I quite liked 1408.
Okay.
I
did
picked that up.
watch-
Gerald's Game is brilliant.
I watched The Long Walk a couple of months ago.
Oh, yeah.
And it was very brutal. It was the kind of film, though, that I think as a book it works better.
Okay.
Because it sort of prolongs that dread.
Yeah. Did you ever
it
see?
works really
I'll tell
well.
you what. I mean, there's been some absolute stinkers. Did you see The Dark Tower?
No, but I know that's a very famous.
I
That
mean, we're talking
basically-
speaking about films that I went to go and see at the cinema and got an embargo and went. That
ended the
Dark
reconnaissance,
Tower.
didn't it?
No, there was a few films before the ending of the
really?
reconnaissance. Yeah, but it's really not that great. I think it was the point where he stopped becoming bankable because he was hiding that. Honestly, his performance in that is remarkable. Like, in terms of remarkably bad. It's not a good performance. It's a bit like, do you remember off the back of his Oscar win, Eddie Redmayne did, was it something like Jupiter Ascending?
He did, yeah.
His performance in that was a bit like, what? That's exactly what McConaughey does
You
in
nearly said
Dark Tower.
McConaughey.
I did nearly say
Do you reckon he
McConaissance.
nearly changed his name to Matthew McConaissance?
I think he should do. His self-help stuff is amazing, by the way. Is that a career change? He now just does Apple Plus movies and Apple TV Plus movies and self-help stuff. He's absolutely all over the place.
He's got the voice.
He doesn't need
for
to do it anymore, though. But no, your second question, Edgar Wright, can you do this adaptation justice?
Yes.
So,
What is your professional opinion?
my professional opinion is that there is a lot of space in The Running Man, within the concept of The Running Man, where Edgar Wright will be able to play very well. Whether he adapts things well, that's neither here nor there. We haven't seen him adapt anything. A lot of his stuff has been original. A lot of it's been Edgar Wright stuff.
Scott Pilgrim?
Yeah, I suppose. Is it comic book, graphic novel?
Comic book, I believe.
So yeah, but other than that, Baby Driver's his.
I believe
Everything else has been.
I believe this is his first, I don't want to say proper book adaptation because that's probably insulting to Scott
Because
Pilgrim.
even Ant-Man, he pretty much had his he was able to write the script for that.
Yeah, Last Night in Soho is an original idea he co-wrote.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll go into it more later on, but what I do like about Edgar Wright is that he is always testing himself.
Yeah.
After
I mean, it's genre, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
he does play with genre. And actually, one of the things would say about him is it's a really good sandbox for him in which he can write a story that can still follow a book probably quite well. But it's also, the first film was known as quite kind of campy in a way, and it had elements of that like 80s chic, should we say, about it, that I think Edgar Wright can take advantage of from a self-referential, self-awareness standpoint, have a bit of fun with it, understand the good parts of it, the bad parts of it, and just kind of do his own thing with it. So I wouldn't write it off because Edgar Wright is doing it. I think I'm more intrigued by what he's going to do in that world.
I agree. I'm very intrigued by which avenue he will go down because, I mean, it's got everything going to be one of his best films.
Well, I mean, he's done action. Baby Driver's a fantastic movie. We'll go into the ins and outs of the complications around that and being able to talk about that movie now. But as a concept piece and scale and what he's able to achieve in it, I think Baby Driver was a really good, fun action movie. If he can translate a lot of the building blocks that he had for Baby Driver into this, with the stuff that he's learned from horror, because ultimately Running Man is still a horror movie in that sense. It's about violence and, what will people do? It's about civilized people becoming violent and chaos and other horror and stuff like that. So ultimately, it's got some of that woven into it. Edgar Wright's got experience in both of those things, so perhaps he is going to wed it together.
We will now deep dive into Edgar Wright's career in directing, heavily inspired by the films of John Landis and the Coen brothers. Edgar, I've only put Edgar. I'm doing the.
Are you on the first name basis? Are you best mates with him? Edgar, our mate Ed.
Yeah, I've literally done that. Heavily inspired by the films of John Landis and the Coen brothers, Edgar Wright began his filmmaking journey making Super 8 films as a teenager before gaining a diploma in audiovisual design from the University of Bournemouth in 1994. Have you ever been to Bournemouth? It's lovely.
I have. I love Bournemouth.
Yeah. Just a year later, Wright released his first feature film, the low-budget independent film A Fistful of Fingers, at the age of just 21. Building on his filmmaking abilities through television, Wright was chosen to direct the acclaimed Channel 4 show Spaced from 1999 to 2001. Created by Simon Pegg and Jessica Stevenson, Spaced established the style Wright would use in his future films. The most famous examples being the comedy Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End, all starring Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, among others. Since 2010, Wright has tested his talents in other genres, such as the action romantic comedy Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the thriller Baby Driver, and the horror Last Night in Soho, before this year's action film, The Running Man.
Okay.
That's a good impression, I think.
That's a great impression. Are you trying to do an impression of the original or Coleman Domingo?
Coleman Domingo.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I thought it was obvious.
Yeah.
Well, obviously it isn't, because you just asked if I'm doing terrible. Anyway.
Yeah. Therefore, it's not a good impression, is it?
Oh, that's just mean. First of all, I just want to get this out there. So, A Fistful of Fingers is a film essentially he made once he finished university. Mm-hmm. It is officially his first feature film, but it is so incredibly low budget, I think 4 people have seen it.
Okay. I have not seen it. I'm going to go back there and say I have not seen it.
Are we going to include this as we reflect on his previous films during the categories?
Well, I mean, obviously, I can't comment too much on it, but it's worth understanding that, like, where he came from. For me personally, I picked up Edgar Wright from Spaced.
Yes.
And actually, that's probably not too far away from this.
4 years.
4 years. So it's pretty close. Yeah, we can still. I don't think we can still talk about it, like in terms of where it's going.
It does kind of sound like a porno.
Okay.
That was my takeaway from it. I was like, obviously it's a Western. Obviously it's taken from A Fistful of Dollars. But it just sounds like a porno.
Okay.
That was very Spaced.
To be fair, that's how you get money. In 1999, it was like porn was the easiest way to sell at-home entertainment. So if you make it sound like porn, he would have sold a lot of videos.
Nice bit of trivia for it. Do you know John Hamm got his first film industry job lighting pornos?
Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
John Hamm of Mad Men.
And of Baby Driver.
And of Baby Driver. There you go.
Yes,
Full circle.
reference.
Right, so I mean, it's quite easy to go. It's quite easy to go through all his films, really. So yeah, you got.
This is the shortest list so far, right? This is the shortest. Well, I mean, after the credits, this is episode 2. So in theory, yes, it is the shortest list. But if you ever followed Deep Dive 5 as well, you'd know this is the shortest kind of credit list. Should we say?
We don't talk about.
We don't talk about the Deep Dive 5. If you talk about the Deep Dive 5, you can only talk about the Deep Dive 5 if you know about the Deep Dive 5. And luckily, that's us and one other listener.
True. Well, the Deep Dive 5,
and even you don't listen back to this stuff.
We kind of treat it like Pete Best from the Beatles. We don't talk about him.
We just don't talk about him. He's just not a thing.
One
I don't know the
credit
reference,
is Ringo.
Okay.
You don't know who Pete Best is?
No.
My God. Anyway, we've got A Fistful of Fingers, Spaced, TV show, and then everything else is films: Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, Scott Pilgrim versus the World, The World's End, Baby Driver, Last Night in Soho, and then The Running Man. He did do a very, very acclaimed documentary about the Sparks Brothers.
The Sparks Brothers, yeah.
But I know nothing about them. Although they did make an appearance on the Gorillaz' new album.
Okay.
New Mountain.
Okay.
Something
Apparently it's a very good documentary.
Yes.
Isn't that like his highest rated, let's say, production at this stage? Because he's done TV, film, documentary.
No, I think Baby Driver might be the one. Anyway. So, yes, let's us reflect on previous films. Empire Review, best and worst. What would you say it is? Is it best and worst film?
Are we actually playing a game? Is it like a...
Kind of.
Like what's best and
for
worst?
For the listeners.
Well, I'm going to say probably best, since you just said it, Baby Driver. And I'm going to say worst is probably... I mean, he's a good filmmaker, and he's turned out some good stuff. So I'm probably going to say his first film.
So... It's a joint best of 5 stars between Baby Driver and Scott Pilgrim.
Okay.
And then his worst reviewed film is A Fistful of Fingers, 1 star.
And what's this based on? It's not Metascores
Empire.
or Rotten. So it's Empire Magazine scores. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I did establish this.
Oh, I'm not sure. I didn't listen.
I know, you never do. But all his other films have gained 4 stars. So all his...
He's a good filmmaker.
Let's say since Shaun of the Dead, which is kind of his featured debut for like most people.
Yeah.
He has not made a film that has scored lower than 4 stars on Empire. Career trends.
Career trends. That's what we like to talk about.
Well, I mean, we can probably dive into this quite well because Edgar Wright is very, very famous for his quick cuts, his sharp dialogue, camaraderie between the 2 leads. There's usually 2 leads in his films.
Yep. Using
pop references regularly. I think he got this from John Landis, the John Landis era of the 1980s. And very, very, very specific British humour.
Yeah. I think a lot of his quick cuts and stuff like that also come from mid 90s to early 2000s Channel 4 comedy. Because it's very, very, very Channel 4 comedy. In as much as, I mean, obviously, again, we have to reference space within this. But if you look at other comedies that were going on at the same time, there's a very particular style with what's going on. If you imagine like a lot of the sitcoms and stuff that were going on, or like the sketch comedies and stuff as well, they very much would transition in that very similar way. So I wonder if there's elements of that. There's going to be DNA to moving things from one scene to the next. It's like a good way to propel a movie forward.
During COVID, I read Simon Pegg's autobiography, and it was the most disappointing autobiography I've ever read. But he did have a lovely section about Edgar Wright and basically how his directing abilities like enhance space to like a level that they couldn't even like think about. And he said like the detail that he puts into like every frame was like unique to him at the time. Yeah, I would say in terms of British voices, he is probably up there. Is he in the same tier as like a Christopher Nolan, would you say? In his like realm, I mean.
I think he's got his own language, should we say. Yeah. That's probably the best way to describe it. And he's fun to watch. He's got his own sensibility. He's got, he knows what he's doing with it. And he cares. He's very much a filmmaker that adores film.
Yeah.
And I think you can tell that, particularly in his interviews and stuff like that as well. He just loves the medium.
I think everyone loves him.
Yeah.
I mean, Christopher Nolan seems to be very hit and miss with certain people. But I would find it very hard to find anyone who would say like they don't enjoy Edgar Wright. Like his Cornetto trilogy, which is Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End. It's like some of the best British films of the last 20 years.
Yeah, easily.
Does Edgar Wright's career live up to Guy Ritchie's?
Yes, it's better. Pound for pound, we literally said the other day, Guy Ritchie probably released as many films as Edgar Wright has over the whole of his career in the 2000s, and Guy Ritchie's career in the 2000s was terrible.
Whoa. Sherlock Holmes.
2009.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
that
like
was
that
the end. That was kind of the turning point for his career. You had Snatch in 2000,
Yeah, but Lock, Stock and Snatch.
2000s and pre-2000s.
I didn't say anything.
Do you think Lock, Stock and Snatch are better than anything that Edgar Wright's ever done?
That is a really good question that I don't know if we have time to really go into. But I would say Lock, Stock and Snatch, I would say they're possibly on par with some of Edgar Wright's English comedies.
No, I'd say his English comedies are better. I think there's a better sensibility about the genre that Edgar Wright plays in. Whereas I think that what Guy Ritchie did was he did fun dialogue between characters and very simple storytelling. Do you know I bought a Guy Ritchie film the other day.
This is why I like this category, because it brings out the best in you. What one did you buy?
I bought The Man from U.N.C.L.E. because I like A Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was shocked that I bought one.
I'm going to say Edgar Wright has had the better career, but if you were to put Lock, Stock up against Shaun of the Dead...
Oh, that's a good bracket.
And go round like a town centre, it would be fascinating to know what would win.
I think it'd be more interesting. I think
Lock, Stock would win.
I think Hot Fuzz is the better one, the better movie. So I think if you put Hot Fuzz against... Because people love Hot Fuzz.
Yeah, but Shaun of the Dead is like... I can't tell you how important that film was for, like... I don't want to put age on it, but like my generation. The younger millennial generation. It was like... probably the most iconic film of like my secondary school life.
That's what you're putting up Lock, Stock against.
Yeah, which was the most iconic film of your young life.
Yeah, and I wasn't interested in it. So,
right, most collaborated actor. Well, this is pretty easy. It's Simon Pegg still. I was about to say it's easy, but I'm trying to think of his post-Pegg career. So he's worked with Simon Pegg.
It'd probably be like really random. It would be like Jim Broadbent. He's like turned up in like Hot Fuzz. He probably would have turned up.
Well, actually,
was he in World's End?
Broadbent? No. Do you mean Bill Nighy?
No, I reckon. No, surely Broadbent might turn up somewhere.
Jim Broadbent.
Jim Broadbent is in Hot Fuzz.
Yeah, that's the only one.
Is that the only film he's been in?
It's Bill Nighy.
No, but that's what I was saying. It's probably someone random. Like,
no, do you know? I actually know who it is. It's the producer Nira Park, because she has collaborated with Edgar Wright on basically everything he's done since Spaced.
Okay.
Definitely since Shaun of the Dead, but I'm pretty sure she even worked with him on Spaced.
Okay.
So yeah, it's essentially been the same team since 1999.
I mean, the trailer for Running Man looks really... I mean, we must be working with the same trailer company.
He's also collaborated with very similar writers over the years.
Okay.
And he's obviously been co-writing films with Simon Pegg. But one thing I will say, Edgar Wright, he does enjoy having the same people. So he's clearly a very warm collaborator.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Nina Park. Or Nira Park. Nira Park, my apologies, if you're listening.
Yeah, I'm sure that she is.
Biggest box office success and flop, according to IMDb. What do you reckon? Biggest box office success...
As in money-wise?
Flop, yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. There's a weird thing, isn't there, with like diminishing returns over a trilogy. So, but because Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz did well commercially, that might have got him, say, enough success overseas to then push World's End quite profitable.
No.
But then Baby Driver, I suppose.
Baby Driver.
Yeah.
Baby Driver made $227 million against a $34 million budget.
Oh, that's not bad.
So his worst, I mean, again, it's going to be pretty obviously A Fistful of Fingers, which I don't think made any money because we have no way of knowing. But in terms of his post-Space career, the biggest flop was Scott Pilgrim versus the World. That made only $50 million against a $60 to $85 million budget.
Thing is, though, that's such a cult movie. It's going to have washed its face somewhere along the line.
But that was kind of a big setback for him. I
Okay.
think that actually played a part in his Ant-Man issues.
Okay.
Because obviously, like, money is everything, and if you've got like an American big budget film that flopped, you're not going to get as much credibility in the bank that you would do in England.
Yeah.
So I think that might have played a part. But obviously, Baby Driver made
Well, I
money.
also think there's an element of creative freedom. Edgar
Yeah.
Wright writes a lot of his stuff. So if someone says, no, you can't do that, and he's going to go, well, I kind of want it to do that, otherwise it doesn't make sense, then you walk away.
But Last Night in Soho, that made some money, but it came out during COVID, so it was
quite
kind
a
of
hard
affected.
one to gauge.
If they were making a film...
What did you think of Soho?
What did I think of Last Night in Soho?
Yeah.
I thought it was fine.
I was really disappointed in it.
It was the most underwhelming Edgar Wright film, but I didn't think it was bad at all. I thought it was really stylish.
Yeah.
As a story, it was his weakest story.
Definitely his weakest story.
I liked the performances.
Yeah. I felt like it was trying to be much more serious than an Edgar Wright movie has been in the past.
Yeah, it dabbled in some dark elements.
Yeah.
And I think
it wasn't all too successful in doing that.
Yeah, it had pacing and tonal issues.
Yeah.
But I think, again, I like that Edgar Wright kind of plays around with new genres.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's not. Is it really a new genre? It's horror.
yeah, but for him.
I
But
mean,
no,
I get
in
like horror
terms of-
comedy and stuff like that. Like that was obviously his wheelhouse. But yeah, I don't know. This was serious. This was more psychological horror. And I'm not sure if I was all too convinced by it.
The second half feels more like an Edgar Wright film.
Yeah.
But it got 4 stars on Empire, and it did fairly well. But it's his weakest film.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like Death Proof is Tarantino's weakest film. It's still got its positive elements that make you want to go back to it.
Okay.
I will say another thing. It is his least rewatchable film,
Yeah.
which is
It's not hugely
which might be a problem.
accessible, is it?
Yeah. If they were making a film about Edgar Wright, who would play him?
Oh, Nick Frost.
Oh, well, he's got a very West Country accent, so that puts it down to Stephen Merchant, which I don't think could play Edgar Wright because I can't think of 2 people who look polar opposites. Oh, I don't know. Daniel Day-Lewis?
Well, absolutely. The guy can play a chair. And it's weird, isn't it? It's like, who would you do? I'm trying to think of some like a bit of British talent who might be able to come in, who has an Edgar Wright look about them.
Can I give you my pick?
Lawrence Llewellyn Davis,
My pick.
Bowen, even Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen, the guy from Changing Rooms. That's a reference.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He's like a interior decorator.
This is my take. Stephen Mangan.
Okay, are we playing like an aging Edgar Wright here?
No, well, Stephen Mangan could get away with. They're very quite a similar age.
Yeah, I know, but
Both
I
in their
mean,
50s.
but over time, like, when are we doing
No,
this? Are
no,
we doing
no,
Edgar
no,
Wright
no,
now,
no, no.
or are we doing Edgar Wright when he's filming
No, but it
Space?
could just be a cameo in like a random film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it could just
Yeah,
be.
no, Stephen Mangan. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
That's the only one I can
Good
think
choice.
of. They have something. They have a similar hair. I imagine Stephen Mangan he's quite soft spoken too. He can
Yeah.
probably do a quite nice West Country accent.
Yeah. Nice.
Do you not have one?
What, an example?
Yeah.
No, I don't. I genuinely can't think of anyone. Nick Frost?
Oh, yeah, you did say.
Yeah.
Could another filmmaker have done a better job with these films than Edgar Wright? A resounding no, because it's so attached to him.
He's got such a signature on it,
Yeah.
right?
Like he literally makes buttering toast in Shaun of the Dead look stylish
Yeah.
and brilliant.
Yeah.
So,
And he knows how to do. I mean, that's the whole point of even things like Hot Fuzz, right? You make a very, very, very boring town, and you
Yeah.
put an action movie in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I nearly went to that town.
Okay.
Very annoyingly, I went there on the way to Centre Parks, and I was like, "Can we please go to the town from Hot Fuzz?" And my brother
You got a
said,
resounding no.
"No." And I was like, "You're boring."
Okay.
Could Edgar Wright have made Batman and Robin better than Joel Schumacher? Now, I'm not going to lie, I find that more interesting than it probably looks. I think Edgar Wright could do a really good job with Batman.
Oh,
and
he'd
Robin.
do a fun Batman, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
He'd do a really cool but I mean, specifically Batman and Robin.
Yeah,
Do you know what? I think he could do a good Batman and Robin.
yeah.
Yeah, like if you take the concept of what Schumacher did with that one and just go, well, yeah, you
I think
want kind of like a silly, fun version of it. I think Edgar Wright could give that a good go.
I think Edgar Wright would probably keep the bat nipples.
He would keep the bat nipples and the bat credit card.
Do you reckon Nick Frost would play Mr. Freeze?
I think Nick Frost could play anyone. I'd put Nick Frost down as Poison Ivy.
There'll be Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
So Simon Pegg will be Batman and
true.
Nick Frost will be...
Do you know what? I think I would watch a version of that movie where Simon Pegg and Nick Frost are doing a pantomime version of Joel Schumacher's Batman and Robin, directed by Edgar Wright. I would watch that.
Okay.
Because that was just so much fun.
Interesting.
Nativity's a thing. Yeah. So why couldn't that be a thing?
Did you know, a bit of trivia, do you know that Joel Schumacher was heavily inspired by Only Fools and Horses' version of Batman and Robin?
Are you serious?
No.
I loathe you.
That is the end of the categories for reflection on previous films. We'll move on now to final discussion on The Running Man. Do you think this film could be better than everything that came before?
Well, I mean, you mentioned at the beginning of this that you think it will be better than...
I just think it has all the potential hallmarks to be his most successful film, because you've got like a cult 80s classic.
Yeah.
It's a Stephen King adaptation. And you also have Glenn Powell, who is kind of like this rising star in Hollywood to become a potential film star.
I think this is going to be a test of that, though, because I do think that everything before this isn't a Glenn Powell-led movie. Okay. I don't think any of these things exist on their own. I mean, I suppose you could say Twisters might be.
He made Twisters. He made a film, I think, on Netflix called Yes Something, which did very well. It's directed by the same filmmaker as the Before trilogy, whose name currently escapes me. Richard Linklater, yeah. So he's done very well since Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, but Top Gun Maverick is a vehicle for Top Gun, and it was a really good movie. So you're not going to turn around and say, yep, Glenn Powell's responsible for that. He did that movie with Sydney Sweeney, which did massive, which was like... Anyone But You. Again, Sydney Sweeney was massive. Can you really say that's a Glenn Powell thing? That was more of a couple thing, right? And then there was I think there was lots of press outside of that. Were they actually a real couple outside of this?
Yeah.
There was lots of stuff that was going around that, which kind of elevated that.
Almost certainly.
Twisters is a sequel to a movie that people have been wanting a sequel for a very long time. Can you really turn around and say that that is a Glenn Powell vehicle? Probably not, because it also had the girl from Normal People, and she did that one Down by the River, whatever it was called.
That one Down by the River.
Yeah, you remember that one? I think it was based on a book. But she's been in a few things as well. Can we really say that this is like a vehicle? I think this is a test. I think this is a test of him as leading man, with lots of moving parts around him, but ultimately he will be the main focus of this movie, right?
Yeah.
So I think it'll be a good test of that. Whether it's bankable or not, I think it's going to be fascinating. I think, honestly, in terms of cinema releases this year, this has a outside business story, which I genuinely think might be one of the most interesting of the year so far.
Okay. He had a fabulous cameo in Dark Knight Rises.
He did.
Yeah. No, what is the scene? He says to Bane, "There's no money here," and then Bane's like, "Then why are you here?"
Yeah.
And then he bashes his head in. And apparently, I don't know whether this is true, he actually gave him concussion.
Okay.
By bashing his head in.
Okay. Wow. Tom Hardy.
Full
method.
When are we going to see Tom Hardy in an Edgar Wright film?
Oh, I mean, that's another question, right? Unusual collaborators.
So we're going... Yeah, the cast, director and crew involved. Obviously, we've mentioned Glenn Powell. It's another Edgar Wright vehicle. Another Edgar Wright film. Same production.
Predicting box office return, I think we've spoken about as well, like in terms of that. I think
we didn't know. I mean, yeah, how much do you think that The Running Man will make?
Well, for all the reasons above, I'm not sure. That's why I say it's a really interesting business prospect. There's a chance that this might make nothing.
It will make $317 million.
Okay, that's brave. Is that more than Baby Driver?
Yes.
Okay. Post-COVID Running Man IP, which kind of no one really asked for, and also, but in a weird way, then perhaps perhaps that makes it worthy of a remake. You know, we kind of live in a post John Wick world where something like that is, you know, what audience would quite like to see, like one man surviving in a world that's out to get him type thing. So I can kind of see it being there with Edgar Wright's writing. This will live and die based on whether or not it's a good movie. If this isn't a good movie, this is done. Like, this is done straight out the gate.
So what's your box office projection?
I don't know. I think that's what I find fascinating about it. I would be surprised if it makes Baby Driver numbers, because Baby Driver in 2017 was huge, and it had really good marketing behind it. At the time, obviously, I feel sorry for Edgar Wright with this film, right? Because I think in the grand scheme of things, I think it's now got 2 actors in it who are not part of the popular zeitgeist anymore, right? They are the leading actors in this as well, right? You've got Kevin Spacey and you've got Ansel Elgort. Both of them have been involved in things outside of filmmaking, which makes it less, I don't know, like less, not acceptable, but people just don't really want to talk about it because they don't want to give time to Kevin Spacey. They don't want to give time to Ansel Elgort. And so I feel sorry for Edgar Wright around this because I think he's got some of his best work in that movie. And so because of that, you know, when you then compare, say, something like this, if it's to the same quality, let's say, then we might see a good return on it. But I just think it's a really fascinating, like I say, it's an untested IP for a film that was kind of essentially like 80s action movie. Like, we're kind of getting through the list of 80s action movies to either reboot or create sequels to, if Running Man is then on that list.
Well,
right?
I mean, this was something else I would like to bring up. Like, what 80s iconic IP do you think will just never be touched? Because we have pillaged the grand majority. Obviously, the standout is Back to the Future will never be touched.
Yes. So I'm not so fussed around the whole idea of reboots and prequels and sequels and all of that jazz, because I do think there's an element of renewing an IP for a new audience.
Yeah,
and
I
I
agree.
think when it comes to refreshing it, giving it a lick of paint, or equally just taking the themes of a movie or the bones of a movie and making it relevant to now, I think is a really intriguing prospect. Because when you do it right, we don't have this conversation.
Yeah.
If someone does this like and absolutely nails it, then you don't have a conversation of what won't they touch or anything like that. It's a redundant conversation because if you're making something that's good quality, but the problem is that we have too many misses for this to really be to be trusted.
Right.
So I don't know. I think it's a bit of a redundant question because I think like there is an argument for everything's rehashed, everything's renewed, and I think you're lucky if there's a lot of movies out there, for instance, that particularly now won't ever have a comparison to it. Even new IP, new stories, new refreshing things that come out will still be compared to something that came before it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I think that's where I am with it. I think like, you know, just reboot it well. That's all we ask.
Their future. What other fields could they work in? Will you go back to television?
I'd love to see him do an animation because I think
stop motion.
Some of the stuff in Scott Pilgrim's is really cool.
Okay. Do you think he'll ever go back to doing Space Season 3?
Or do you reckon anyone would do Space Season 3? That'd be cool.
Do you reckon?
I'd be interested to see it, but it's very 90s or early 2000s.
Yeah.
It's of a time.
Unlikely collaborations in the future?
I put The Rock.
Yeah, I saw that.
It'd be a weird collaboration.
Not anymore, because he's doing Smashing Machine and he's doing a film with Scorsese. Do you know what would be really weird? Clint Eastwood as an actor.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, if
Be like, I made a film called A Fistful of Fingers that was based on your iconic era, and then Clint Eastwood would reply, "Why the fuck are you making a porno?"
True.
I'd watch that film.
Okay.
Using AI, do you think Edgar Wright will go down the AI route in the future?
Who knows?
I think he will.
I think we'll all use AI at some point. I don't see a situation where people don't use AI.
I'm seeing a lot of things now where people say no AI was used in this whatever.
Yeah. Well, but I think like for me, I think there's. Well, I don't know. I think people will reject it from a creativity standpoint. right?
Yeah.
I think it will get rejected for that. But from an operational standpoint, it will become like word processors and stuff like that. It'll become like a Google search.
Do you think that Edgar Wright would make a good film in Tahiti or Yemen?
Absolutely. Baby Driver is a really good movie in the US, and it's the same as Scott Pilgrim is a really good movie in a really small town in the US. He's a British filmmaker. I'm pretty certain that he could do a pretty good movie in Yemen.
Well, they are doing a new Cornetto film, apparently. So you could just basically have Nick Frost be like lost in Yemen.
Okay.
And then
the Cornetto
Simon Pegg
quadrilogy.
unfortunately ends up in Tahiti.
Okay. Done.
And that's it. And then they have to like reconnect.
But I mean, if Simon Pegg's written it, then it will all be about Simon Pegg, right?
Well, probably, knowing him.
Star Trek Beyond.
Ooh, Edgar Wright doing the next Star Trek film.
Be cool.
Heard it first. I believe we are at the end.
We are at the end.
Are you looking forward to The Running Man?
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
Okay. I'm very excited. Thank you.
I'm still trying to see that Daniel Day-Lewis movie. Can't find it anywhere.
Thank you for tuning in to the latest episode of One Credit After Another. We want to hear your opinions on the career of Edgar Wright. What would you rank as his career highlights? Are you a fan of Spaced? Do you think that Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg will team up again? Goodbye, and we will see you soon.
See ya.